What's up, everybody? Do. Captain's Log. Thursday, May 28, 2020. Mime Time Update. 82 listeners. 892 downloads. Oh, baby. That's almost 900 downloads, which means I'm almost at 1,000 downloads. Oh. Life is one step at a time. I've been working out regularly. I'm at like 4 or 5 times a week, at least nowadays. I'm eating a green smoothie every day. I'm getting good sleep, good 7 to 8 hours on a given night. I'm on day 50 of meditations, not consecutively, but mostly doing that to increase my willpower and focus. And I am on day 85 of no drinking. And so that means from today, about 35 days left until my birthday, Saturday, July 4, when I'll break my sobriety. My daily affirmations are as such. Number 1, I am enthusiastically becoming the best version of myself every day. Number 2, I am enthusiastically increasing my net worth to $100 million or more every month. Number 3, I am enthusiastically increasing in health, strength, and vitality every day. Number 4, I am enthusiastically increasing in mental willpower and focus every day. Number 5, I am enthusiastically making substantial progress toward my most important goals every day. These are my affirmations. You can modify them or come up with your own that are suited to you. I do these. These are my daily prayers that I do in the morning and then when I remember before I go to sleep. I don't know how to explain it, but this stuff works. Like, it just goes into my subconscious, and I feel like I am closing in that gap between where I am and where I want to be as far as like my goals are. So making this a part of my daily system, my daily habit of just, saying these affirmations, I feel myself getting closer to the place where I want to be, and I can see the progress that I've made just in the past several months alone. Anyways, before I get into today's episode, which is about why I stopped drinking for 120 days. The last 30 days are coming up. And so if you want to join me from June 4th to July 3rd, that's 30 days of no drinking, then please join me and see if you can do it. If you don't drink, then, this is not a big deal for you. But if you are a regular drinker like me and, you think taking a break or even a 30 days seems kind of daunting, I would challenge you to maybe join me for a bit. Because if you think this would be something that challenges your level of willpower, then we could do it together, and then we can celebrate on my birthday, Saturday, July 4th, whether in person or over the interwebs. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You know what time it is. It's mime time. So, where to begin? Well, going off the previous episode about Korea being an exciting hell, it's fun, and there are a million places to drink. In fact, the problem with Korea is that sometimes it's too much fun. Expats who move here can probably tell you that they didn't drink this much back home, right? Whether you're from Australia or Canada or America. I myself wasn't of drinking age until I came to Korea, so I started drinking basically when I moved here. So I would say probably on a weekly basis from 2012 all the way until, 2017 or so, I probably drank at least once a week. And then from 2017 onwards, I became a party promoter and then later on a club promoter. And so there's been a period for about 3 years where I just have drank almost every week, like getting drunk for a good solid 3 years. And let me tell you, I've had the most amazing time drinking and partying here in South Korea. Whether it's just enjoying a glass of whiskey with a friend, having a good chat, or going out to a bar with some friends in the hood, or getting lit at the club on a packed weekend. Korea's fun, but the drinking culture, which deserves its own episode, can take its toll on you after living here for a while. So last year in 2019, I talked with a friend of mine, Aurelian, and he said that after his birthday, which was in late September, he said he wasn't going to drink for 90 days. He said he does this every once in a while to kind of detox. I'm like, oh, okay, like that sounds interesting. And he said, Mime, you work in the club. I think you should do this, even if it's just for 30 days. you should do it. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should do that, because I'm just getting busier and busier. There's like more things I need to do with my life, and I need to be more productive. Maybe taking a break from drinking would do me some good. And so I was thinking about it, but what really made me want to do it for sure, the the events or the nights that made me be like, okay, I really need to take a break from drinking was Chuseok, right? Korean Thanksgiving holiday in September of 2019. I was at the club and some friends came by and we were having a good time. And then one champagne glass led to one gin and tonic, led to one whiskey coke and another, going from place to place in Itaewon and having some soju to the point that like I don't remember what happened. All I remember is the next day was a complete write off. You may have had days like this yourself when you just mix all the alcohols and you regret all your decisions that night. And it had been a while since I had a night like that, because after drinking for so long, I kind of like got to the point where over the years where I got to the point where, I can handle my liquor and I know exactly how much I can handle and when is too much. And, I know how to drink water. I should be drinking water and like doing certain things before I go to sleep to help alleviate the hangover the next day. But this day, I just really messed up. I'm just like going to the toilet like every hour, and it was just pain. I was just in pain all day. And the thing is, this was on the Chuseok holiday, right after a long night just drinking and partying with my friends. And it was good to hang out with those friends, but I didn't need to drink like that. And I'm not blaming those friends, not that they were a bad influence or anything. Okay, maybe there was one person in the group who was just like, yeah, let's drink. But at the end of the day, like, I'm an adult, and I just thought, like, why am I doing this to myself? Why do I let this happen? What am I doing with my body and my money and my time, spending that money and then taking this toll on like my health and my body, my sleep and my well-being? I was just like, oh, this is so miserable, because I felt the pain of wasting a whole day. Because that day I was hoping to work out, I was hoping to do some work on my laptop, maybe read a book, and then go see some family, because Chuseok is an important family holiday. So the whole day was a write off, and I was just like, this is so bad. Like, how can I waste my life like this, my precious time? Because at that time, especially, I was getting busier, and I was just like, I have these goals, and I was kind of thinking, yeah, maybe I should start a podcast and do this and that. More and more as time goes by, right? The more and more like you want to like pursue your dreams, and the more you take meaningful action, the more you value your time, right? So from September 23rd to October 22nd or something like that, up until the last week of October, I didn't drink for 30 days. And it was awesome in so many ways that even 2 weeks in of being sober, I could really appreciate just me sleeping better. I mean, I'll go through a list of like the benefits and the things I learned, but it basically changed my life. And I was so eager to do it again that after Halloween, I started again from November 1st all the way up until December 14th, which was the last day of like all the work that I had to do aside from promoting for some parties at the club and planning for our epic Stellar Antiques New Year's Eve party. When I had that first sip of whiskey on December 14th after a long day of work, after a long year, actually, I can't describe to you how rewarding that was and how glad I was during a really peak busy period of my life. How glad I was that I didn't drink, because I felt like I would needed and was using all the energy that I could get. So the benefits of taking a break from drinking for 30 days or more are that you lose some weight, you sleep better, you don't have to wake up with a hangover, you have more mental clarity, you have more energy to do the things that you need to do. I mean, this stuff is obvious, but as weeks and weeks go by, you kind of have a compound effect of like extra productivity, because you have the extra energy and willpower to focus on a given day to day. It's harder to be productive and be on your A game when you're sort of sleep deprived slash hungover. I felt like my skin got better. People could notice that I had more energy. And it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't nearly as hard as people might make it out to be. And again, we're all different, but working at a club, of course, can be a great temptation. because of the environment of a club and all the people who are there to drink. Who goes to a club and doesn't drink? And with people, good friends, maybe people from out of town, maybe it's a birthday, maybe there's some beautiful women who'd like to have a drink with you, or some VIPs who spent hundreds of dollars on the table and they're offering you a drink. It's hard to say no sometimes, but I just learned how to say a polite no, how to politely decline, and most people understood. And really, if they didn't understand or they didn't respect it, then that's not something I needed to take personally. Or if they felt like it was weird, or if they even were to slight me somehow, then like it's not something that I need to take personally. And honestly, then I knew, okay, this is a person who doesn't get it. This is a person who maybe has issues of their own. There's this one interview with Jordan Peterson I watched recently where he talks about people who try to make an improvement in their lives, trying to get their lives together. There will always be haters. There will always be people or friends who don't approve or don't understand. And really, those are people who aren't just friends. They're just someone you know. They're not really someone who cares for your best interest or your well-being. That's me paraphrasing what Jordan Peterson said, but I thought it was a very good point. Another benefit to not drinking for a month is just the hundreds of dollars I saved on not buying drinks. A drink here, a drink there, buying a round of shots for everyone here and there. I mean, it adds up. I also learned things about myself, like just the fact that, I have jitters or anxiety in a social situation. And, you're just used to having something to hold and something to cheers people with when you meet them, right? Like that's a great opener in a club or a bar. It's like you just go up to anyone with a smile and say, hey, cheers. If you don't have a drink in your hand, then it kind of feels awkward. But really, I learned it's not that big of a deal. It's like whatever social situation it is, you just go up to someone with a smile and say, hey, how are you doing? My name is Mime. And then you just go on from there. Like, what brings you here? Blah, 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 blah. You don't need to have a drink in your hand, even though that's like the culturally, socially acceptable thing to do. If anything, then you could have a cup of just ginger ale or soda water, some non-alcoholic beverage in your hand, if it's that important to you. And it kind of made me think, like, who am I? Am I a kind of person who I need to have alcohol in order to be social? I need to consume an external substance. I need something that comes from outside of myself in order to do something that really should just be natural. It's just one person to another human person in any given social situation, just being able to say hi, just being able to say connect. You shouldn't need this universal, timeless social lubricant called alcohol in order to do the things, because we're already social human beings. We can train ourselves to take action and to just say hi, make eye contact, shake hands, and connect and go from there. I'm not trying to judge anybody for relying on it because I have relied on it myself for years, but I don't, for me, I don't want to continue to rely on that. I want to think that like I'm a independent person who can take action without the use of alcohol. Because we all know deep down inside, like it's kind of pathetic. Like you really need to consume something in order to take an action that really should just be natural. And I think it comes from perhaps deep-seated issues of perhaps insecurity or anxiety that come from like our childhoods and all that stuff, if you can imagine. So I've had to learn to self-amuse. Self-amusement has been a great lesson in all this time I've been sober. While other people are relying on drinks, in order to get the dopamine, in order to kind of let loose, like I've been trying to just meditate, feel myself in the moment, oh baby. And then from there, just like whether it's just dancing in the club or just smiling at people, trying to crack a joke, trying to make myself laugh, trying to just take a moment to pause and reflect and appreciate the moment, appreciate how far my life has come. From that, building some energy, and then with that, redirecting my emotion to make myself feel better so that I don't need to feel alcohol. So the point that I can dance sober in a club, maybe I have some coffee, and I just have a lot of fun without needing to drink. In fact, there have been so many nights where I find myself having more fun, being more active, being more engaged with people and with life without having to drink alcohol. And I love alcohol, and I I am an addict. I'm not going to lie to you. I am an addict. I love alcohol, and I want to keep enjoying these things. I want to enjoy these things without being a slave to them. I want them to stay a reward. I want to try to refresh the novelty of appreciating it and use it as a reward. So I stay disciplined. I work on my body. I save money. I'm working on body and bank so that when I do drink, it's more of a special occasion. I appreciate it more, and I appreciate life more as a result. So me being sober for the 2.5 months or whatever at the end of last year was so transformative for me because it helped me realize like how much there is to appreciate about life. And so like when I drink alcohol, I don't want it to be coming from a place where like, oh, I'm at 50%, I'm at 60%. My parents abused me when I was a kid, or like I was always shy and picked on. So like I'm a depressed human being and I don't feel whole. So I'm always at like 60, 70%, 40%. But when I drink alcohol, I feel kind of normal. It numbs the pain. And I'm like at 80, 90, 100%. And I keep drinking until the diminishing returns kick in, and I'm drinking and drinking and drinking, but I'm miserable, right? Like no one wants to live like that. And so many people do. So many people drink their lives, and they don't even enjoy it anymore. Like what kind of life is that? Like alcohol is something you should be enjoying, something that should help you appreciate life, something that you enjoy with friends. It shouldn't be some addiction that you become a slave to, as it enslaves so many people. And I am not judging people who are alcoholics. I mean, okay, there's a part of me that might judge people. It depends on the person and the circumstance, but I understand because I am an addict to myself. Like I love alcohol, and there are moments is sometimes when I'm stressed that like, oh, like I want to drink, but I don't want to rely on something to like numb the pain. I don't want to like lower my consciousness. So there were moments in the club when there I saw people coming, and they're dancing and they're drinking and they're having a good time, but I'm there like sober. Like I remember one time in the club at the dance floor, there's a bunch of people and I gave them all shots, and we're all like dancing in a big circle, and we're all having fun and the music's good, and I'm sober, but I'm looking at these people and I see that there's something in their eyes or something like with their energy, and it's like I don't want to say that they're dead inside. I mean, some people that come to a club, they're dead inside. But it's not that these people are dead inside, but like, they've been drinking for years and years and years on a given weekend, and they're just like going at it hard. They're just drinking and drinking, and they're getting drunk and they're getting lit, they're getting tipsy, and it's kind of like a lowering of their consciousness. And it's almost like I could see that this alcohol was like kind of like a virus, kind of like a disease. And I'm not even saying that like in a negative way, just like it is what it is. These people are like overtaken by this parasite that is alcohol. This parasite that is alcohol, and it's like it kind of like tames their consciousness in a way in the club. So I'm there dancing with these people, having a good time. I'm glad to see them, and I'm glad they're having a good time. But I thought, oh my God, like is that how I've been for the past 4, 5, 6 years since I came to Korea? Just getting lit and then just looking, kind of just being inebriated, and just trying to like kind of numb the pain. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like really eye opening for me. Just that, oh, if I didn't take this time, if I didn't take this action to take a break from alcohol, I could be in like this dream-like state of lower consciousness for years and years and years without taking a proper break. And so there was a moment of like humility and gratitude, and I don't know, respect for life, and just wanting to become a better person, and not judging the people who come to the club, not judging people who go out to the bar for a drink, because I know what it's like to have an addiction. I know what it's like to want to relieve stress. I know what it's like to go through a hard time or to celebrate good moments. You see like the best and the worst of humanity at the club or going out. I see people having the time of their lives, and I see people throwing up and having some of the worst times of life. Maybe they just had a breakup, or they just had a divorce, or they just had a wedding, or they just got a job promotion, or they quit their job and they're moving into greener pastures. Maybe they're leaving Korea. I've seen so many people drink for all sorts of reasons. And to see people drinking completely sober for the first time in my life as an adult since I became a drinking adult, like I could appreciate so much more about like cultural nuances and the way people work, their behavioral psychology. And I just thought, wow, this is so weird. Like, because so much of the economy and like the whole entire entertainment industry is based on this substance that you consume that changes the state of your mind. Isn't that kind of weird? I mean, music is a beautiful thing. Dancing is such a wonderful thing. But why do you have to have a business that sells expensive alcohol in order to make money and survive? Think about like all the clubs in the world. Think about all the places where you go to dance and party. Okay, dance, party, club, music. It is all about the money, right? The clubs need to make money. Every club needs to make money. How do they make money? By selling alcohol and the space of the tables, right? They sell drinks at the bar and also selling the space of a table, right? So people can have that premium VIP luxury experience of paying for a space on a given party night. It's about the alcohol. It's about the, I don't know, $300, $400, $1,000 vodka bottle set with champagne and mixers included and blah, 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 right? It's all about the alcohol. But it's like, what if we as a society, this is the kind of things I had. Like, what if we as a society were just like in control of our emotions and we could control our state and we could just go out at night or even just the daytime and just gather around in a place with a good sound system, good lighting, good interior, with good music, and we're just sipping on orange juice. Not even that close. Orange juice has a lot of sugar, but just iced coffee and like some fresh fruit juices. But we're all like in a mood to dance. Like that's a culturally acceptable thing to do for us to just be like jumping up and down, sweating, having a great time dancing, even like hunting, even like guys and girls like maybe grinding on each other and like like saying hi to each other, playing the game, like courting each other, the mating ritual stuff, right, on the dance floor. But imagine if they were all sober. Imagine if everyone was sober, but we're just like all comfortable with ourselves as human beings. Like I love myself, so I don't need alcohol to go up to the girl over there or to go over the guy over there and like make a new friend. What if the world was a different place like that? It's like why does the club have to make money off people like selling something, selling a substance to people that makes them go into a lower consciousness? Like how messed up is the world in a way? It's kind of messed up. But I love alcohol, but I love the club, and the club needs to make money. So we have a right to live and make money off it, right? And it's all legal, isn't it? So like I don't have a problem with clubs selling alcohol and people drinking, having a good time, and even losing yourself once in a while. I think that's human. And I've talked with people about this, like really cool people that I know. People who are like, "Oh man, I don't know how you do it, like not taking a drink, not drinking in the club because when I'm there and it's loud, there's people like I get anxious, like I want to have the drink, like I don't feel normal until I have the drink." I'm like, and I totally understand because that's how I feel too. I can still feel that way. But it's like, why do you need it? I think I would respect myself more as a person if I could go into any social interaction without needing something else outside of me, just like my own mind, my own heart, mind, soul, and balls, right? To go up to someone, either a beautiful woman or like a cool dude, and just wanting to connect. So, I know sometimes life is a lot, and sometimes you just need a drink, and your mind messes with you big time. I don't know about you guys, but when I've been in a club over the years, my mind is always messing with me with the stupidest thought, the stupidest thought. Like, oh, look at that girl in the corner with her friends. Like, she's cute. Like, I want to talk to her. Oh, will she like me? Will she think I'm cool? Do people in this bar or club think I'm cool? Like, oh, like, okay, I need a drink, or I need to go out and say hi to someone that I know. And it's like your own private personal hell, going out sometimes in social situations, especially when you don't know anyone, but you want to connect with people because we're all human. We all want to talk with people. We all want to be heard and understood and like have friends and engage with each other and tell funny stories and share value, exchange stories. So it's completely normal to want to go into a public place and meet strangers and turn them into friends. But so many of us, like we're alone in our own worlds. I don't know about you, but I think a lot of us are. And then we don't really have people to talk to about stuff like this, except maybe like our close friends. But if we have close friends, then normally we go out with them anyway. So we don't push ourselves to see like, oh, what can I do? If you were dropped in the middle of a desert or the middle of a foreign town, right, with just like I don't know, with nothing, like you don't have your wallet or you don't have your phone, and just like maybe you're just lucky to have the clothes on your back. Okay, could you meet people and were you not even knowing the local language? Could you meet people, smile, interact, and just explain yourself like, do you have internet? Can I borrow like your computer or phone? I need to call a friend and have them wire me money. Like, can you like, be grounded and just in any social situation anywhere on the planet and like be self-sufficient and be able to be brave enough to communicate with people to help you out of whatever situation you're in. These are kind of important questions like about like eternal timeless principles that I ask myself from time to time. Like, am I being self-sufficient? Am I being the most that I can be? Am I pushing my limits of what's comfortable to me? Am I pushing myself out of my comfort zone? So me taking a break from alcohol was a huge push out of my comfort zone, but I thought that I could do it. And I took that risk. I mean, what was I risking? Just like, that I would a big incentive for me to keep doing it was to know that like I could do it and so that I could be proud of myself. I want to tame my own mind. I want to like overcome myself. And I don't want to run away from reality using substances like alcohol or video games. I don't want to run away from myself. I want to face my fears and my thoughts. Like I want to acknowledge my thoughts. I want to see where the pain and the anxiety and the insecurities where they come from. I don't want to go into a lower state of consciousness. I want to increase my state of consciousness as much as I can all the time. And even when I was a little kid, there was and like I was at home and maybe having an argument with my parents or I was depressed, like there was a part of me deep inside me that wanted to fix all the problems around me at the same time while like going into food. Like my mom would feed me a lot of food and I would get overweight, and at school kids would call me fat and I'd get more depressed, so I'd eat more food. It's a vicious cycle. I'm thinking a lot of people out there can relate, especially Asian Americans who grew up with Asian parents who feed them so much food because their parents grew up in a rougher time when there wasn't as much food, but at the same time making fun of them for being fat. Like how effed up is that? Like Asian parents, so messed up. But that's it for another topic. I want, even when the moments like that, like I knew that what my parents were doing was messed up, and like the way I was my parents couldn't communicate with me as a kid was messed up. But I wanted to fix it. Like I knew like there was a better way, but I just didn't know how. So I just like resorted to video games, escaping in video games. And so I don't want to live my life, just like trying to take the edge off. I know it's all human. Like we want, sometimes we just want to drink, or we want to just indulge in some food or something, or some people do other kinds of drugs or whatever to just like get away from it all. Like I know what that's like, and I've done that with like video games and alcohol myself. But I know like that going down that road now, after feeling like a prisoner of my own mind, just like spending like days at a time staying up like until the morning playing video games, like not even enjoying anymore, but just like because of addiction, out of habit, just like feeling like a prisoner. Like what was I doing? It was just a dream. Like I was like I didn't even have free will at that point in my life because I didn't think there was anybody. Like I look back and I laugh at myself and I was like, oh, what a loser. But really at the same time, just like I was doing the best that I could, and the best that I thought at the time was there's nothing good for me going on in life. There's nothing of a value I can offer the world. So I'm just gonna play video games until like, I'm a 30-something-year-old living in my mom's basement. I'm gonna be that stereotype video game virgin loser nerd. And look, there's nothing wrong with being a virgin or like playing video games and just staying with your home if that's what makes you happy. If that's what makes you happy and your mom's cool with it, like, and you're just like living your thing and you don't feel like pressured, or you don't, then that's your nature. If that's in line with your nature and you're not unhappy, you're content with life, then all the power to you. But I knew deep down I was running away from the problems. And when you run away from your problems, this is a universal thing. Like you're not happy because you're not realizing your full potential. So I don't want to take the edge off by drinking alcohol. I'm not here to take the edge off of life. I'm here to take the edge on, and edge hard. I want to live on the cutting edge of life. I want to live on the bleeding edge of life and push the limits, the razor's sharp edge of conscious energy. I want to push the limits of what's possible every single day. I don't want to put my life on hold anymore. And when I drink or play video games, it's not like an addiction that enslaves me. It's not like it's something I can just genuinely enjoy. An hour here, an hour there, as a reward to myself after a long day, or just like my birthday, or just like after finishing a big project. That's the more proper time. I think then I will enjoy drinking even more. You know, Indulging here and there as I desire, but not letting the indulgences ruin me or run me. Maybe it looks different for you. Maybe for some people you're listening and you drink, you're like one of those people who like I went through, had a really accident, like I was a really bad alcoholic like 5-10 years ago, and then I quit cold turkey, and I'm never touching it again. I think that's beautiful. I think that's powerful. I think that's great, and that's probably what you should do for you. For me being able to control these things, in moderation, which is such a cliche thing, but for me, just to enjoy these things, enjoy different things in my life on my own terms, that's true freedom. I can't emphasize into this stuff. I don't want to run into alcohol, use alcohol as an escape. I used to do that with video games. It's such a lot because you don't love yourself. You don't love yourself deep down inside, so you escape. So just like sweets, or just like, yeah, just like you don't eat 5 bars of chocolate a day and expect to be happy and proud about it. You don't play video games for 5-10 hours a day and expect to be really proud of it, unless like you're making money and you're unlocking some sweet achievements and gear. But even then, like there's more to life to live, like outside of Xbox or World of Warcraft or Counter Strike or whatever. To the point that like, my life is so great. My life is a video game. I wake up and I'm like, do 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 do. I'm gonna make my coffee and meditate, and then I'm gonna work out. Then I'm gonna become jackmate. Do 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 do. And then at nighttime it's like do 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 do. Ding. You know, I have like, wow, that was a great day, and I look at the scoreboard for the day. I'm just like, wow, I had just a really badass day. I had some fun. I worked on myself. I increased my positivity and my mood state, and I'm getting a better control of my workflow. I met some amazing people to talk about business. I learned some stuff from my good mentors. I read a good book. I read a really interesting article. I I listened to some part of a really interesting audiobook. You know, I learned something every day. I ate some good food. I had a really good green shake, you know, like, and just think like, wow, what a badass day. And I worked on my podcast. I worked on the website for this. You know, I'm learning things little by little, and I'm carrying this momentum in and day out. It's such a beautiful thing. There's so much opportunity and complexity. There's so much opportunity for growth, and there's so much complexity to appreciate in all the different aspects of my life, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's having a more organized home, whether it's being more efficient with my time, whether it's being a more of a top performer, doing better at all the things that I do, whether it's like becoming more organized and nerdy about my productivity, or meeting people, being in social situations, whether it's like going out and having a good time, meeting the owner of a club and then asking him like, you know, how business has been doing and what gave him the idea, whether it's setting up an interview for this podcast. There's so many things to appreciate, and there's so many things to learn, that my life is like a video game, and I can see like bars, you know, like visual like indicators of skill, like skill bars, skill trees. Like, I can see in my own life that I'm building it, not just virtually in one department that is called a video game, an RPG that you can play, but like my life, my role playing game. I am Mime Time, and I'm trying to be the best mime that I can be. So, what is your best version of your own video game character? What RPG are you playing? Are you playing one where you're just like, I'm gonna be a 35-year-old virgin in my mom's basement, and I'm gonna just be miserable and playing video games and just blame the world for my problems? Oh, poor me, because of my parents and how they treated me, and I didn't feel like I had the same chance as other kids. Well, I'm just gonna stay here and give my pity myself, and I want you to feel sorry for me too. Or do you want to just be like, I'm on God, man, I'm gonna inject, I'm getting money, and I'm gonna be like better person, you know, I'm gonna I don't know if that made sense at all. But, you know, it's like, what you have this one life. What are you going to do with it? Don't you want to live it on your own terms? And so that's what I'm trying to do. I've been trying to live my life on my own terms, and it is awesome. I'm so happy these days. So again, after that month leading up to Halloween 2019, and the month of November going into halfway into December, those two months alone were so awesome for me. And then from December 14 onwards, like having finished all my work for 2019, I had an epic 4-week vacation where I went to my hometown with my girlfriend, and I went to uh, Boston, and you know, we saw some sights, and then we saw like, you know, family and friends from my childhood, like just being able to take that time off and really enjoy spending time with friends around Christmas. Then flying back to Seoul for New Year's Eve, where my team threw an epic New Year's Eve party where, like, I don't know, like some like 2,000 people came at a really swanky hotel, an epic countdown, like an amazing night, one of the best nights of my life with my best friend. So I went to Rhode Island. Shout out to my boy Marky Mark. Mark, I hope you're listening to this, and I want you to know that I love you so much, dude. This is my like childhood bro. I've known him since I was 12. We spent Christmas together, you know, with his family, my girlfriend and I. Then we flew back to Korea, and we spent New Year's Eve together at my party with Stellar Antics and, events. And then after that, we spent 8 days in Boracay. We went to the Philippines for the first time together, and we had the most amazing time. And you know, we partied, we met the coolest people. We stayed like a really swanky Airbnb, and you know, I could just go on and on about like my vacation. But it was that vacation time, that 4 weeks, was made so much sweeter by the fact that not only I had worked hard in 2019, but also I had taken that couple of months to take a break from alcohol, so I could appreciate the drink and be in better health and shape to party and be on vacation, if that makes sense. And then afterwards, after January, February, in early March, from March 5th, starting 60 days of sobriety initially, but then I extended it to 90 days and then 120 days. So I figured, why not just add another month so I can just enjoy my birthday even more? So I'll have an even better birthday. So now there's all this anticipation I built up, right? Combine no drinking with working out regularly, with having a green shake every day, sleeping really well, having awesome days. I feel so good mentally, physiologically. I feel amazing these days, and I am feeling even better as time goes on. That's the amazing thing. So I'm so pumped for life. I feel like a more compassionate human being. And oh, going back to 4 week vacation where like I was with my girlfriend and my best childhood friend Mark. What he does is he has a really clean diet and he works out regularly and his job is very active. So he just works for long periods of time and then he gets jacked, like he's in great shape. And then when he goes on vacation, when he comes over to Asia to party, he drinks and smokes as much as he wants, right? But when he goes back home, he's pretty clean and he's really regimented. But when he's on vacation, he does whatever he wants. And I just thought, okay, if I want to be partying as I go as I get older. If I want to be like partying and being active and maybe even going out to clubs like as I get older in my 30s, 40s, 50s, who knows? Doesn't have to be all the time, but I would still like to be like maybe like in my mid 40s or something and once in a while go out to the clubs with some friends who are younger or something or whatever like that, right? Or if I'm married by then, go out to the club with my wife and still be in good shape and just have time have a time with friends, you know what I mean? Like I just want to be able to enjoy what I am doing now, like drinking and partying, but enjoying that more, maybe more spread out later on in life and, like improving the quality of the experience rather than the quantity, if that makes sense. Because I will get older. And so I need to maintain my health. I need to become strong. I want to get to a point where I'm really, really solid physically and financially so that when I do have times of vacation, I can ball out, I can drink, and I can eat whatever I want here and there. And I can indulge, but as a reward. So I would encourage anyone listening to this to perhaps think about how they can improve their experiences. Like if you like to party, if you like to have a good time, and if that means having a drink or indulging in something like junk food or something like that, even instead of doing it to the point where you go experience diminishing returns and you're not proud of yourself. Well, if you feel like you know what, I'm not going to be able to quit cheeseburgers cold turkey forever, or I'm not going to be able to stop alcohol. Or it's not that I don't if maybe there's some people, again, maybe like it's really bad and you just need to quit cold turkey and that's the best thing for you, like Godspeed, okay? But if you're the kind of person who is like, like I'm still gonna drink, for like the rest of my life probably, but like I want to enjoy it more, then this is perhaps something you can consider doing, like getting in better shape, um, taking better care of your health, having better energy, so that when you do drink and you do get wild and maybe you get really effed up, it doesn't phase you as much and it's less of an occurrence. So you're making better use of this time because I want this podcast, Mime Time, the Mime Time Show, I want it to help you save more time, to add more value to your life. And really, if we all consume perhaps less like depressants, if we can consume like less of these things that like turn us into our lower state of consciousness, whether that's like, I don't know, like really bad, like junk food, TV programming, or like just silly cat videos, you know what I mean, like lower conscious materials. If you can just consume less of that and think about like how we can get to the next level of higher conscious, more determined conscious living, and if we can kind of like reduce the amount of time that we're in that trance state. I mean, let me tell you about the crazy nights in Seoul that I've seen, just people going absolutely nuts, going wild dancing or like throwing up in the street, just like the crazy stuff you see on a given weekend when people are out partying. Just like all the humanity, like the best and the worst and the dirty, gritty side of humanity. Um, Going into that with present energy and self-awareness, has been such a rewarding experience. And to the point, like, I don't judge people for going wild. Like, I don't think of myself as like, better than, I don't want to like be like feed my ego that way. I want to just increase in compassion, gratitude, perspective, wholeness. I want to increase in wholesomeness. And I've become, I feel a much more compassionate and understanding version of myself because I see people getting wasted and I'm like, I know what that's like. I know how that feels and I know why you're doing it. And I'm just kind of grateful that like I can take a break from that. And I know that
can step away from that and I'll be okay. I don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it to be happy. If you are going to use it, then use it because you are already happy and it's just a treat for yourself. So taking this break as a drinker, as a party goer, as a club party promoter for years, this has been so beneficial for me. It's really weird how it's just like, oh, just me not drinking for extended periods of time has like revealed so many truths about like my life and so many practical, philosophical, personal, spiritual things. Like, what kind of person am I? Why am I spending this money on this? Like, just being able to save money and like me being healthier, me having more appreciation and gratitude for the world, me understanding like how an economy works and how clubs need to make money and bars need like to sell alcohol to make money. Like, really understanding and appreciate these different things, seeing people in their struggles and why they resort to alcohol and how they enjoy it and wanting to enjoy it with them and feeling that craving in me that I want to drink with you. I want to have fun with you. And it's not the same unless we're both like experiencing the same thing. It's weird to sit down at a table for like a lunch meeting, but like one person is eating, but you're not. It's just a weird thing. It's like, so it's weird to kind of be in a group with people. Everyone's doing the same thing, but you're not. It's like you are left out in a way. So how can you deal with that? Like, how do you still engage with people when you're not consuming the same psychoactive ingredient that they are? And the answer is you can, because you just need to get more in touch with yourself. That's what I've learned. So again, to reiterate, what I'm doing now, 120 days of no drinking until my birthday from March 5th to July 4. I mean, I'm drinking on July 4. For me, this time I have needed to hustle. I've needed to make money. I've needed to save money, and I want to tell myself that I'm doing everything that I can. So part of that has been like just taking a break from drinking. Obviously, I'm not perfect, and I have some bad habits. I like to eat junk food. So I'm just trying to work on them one at a time as time goes by to reduce my bad habits and increase my positive habits. As much as I would like to just be going around and drinking and smoking cigars every day and be in perfect shape, like, some Tyler Durden Fight Club type who's just like, I'm just like a cool badass and I just party every single night. And like, I'm always like meeting the coolest people, hanging out with celebrities and, um, and like taking beautiful women home. I want to think of myself as some 21st century rock star, Great Gatsby club event planner, entrepreneur, podcaster extraordinaire, right? And, again, meeting important people, doing workouts, drinking coffee and popping bottles all night, having a blast with cool people, celebrities, my best friends, and beautiful women in the club. I mean, I've had nights like that. And I know people who are like that. They're legends. Tyler Durden-esque God entrepreneur Renaissance men types. And I'm just trying to become my own version of that. I've had amazing nights and days and streaks of my life that were like that. Like maybe like a couple of summers ago or even last summer, just like every weekend, just partying and doing cool stuff. But now it's not like that. Now I'm just like keeping my head down and learning to be more focused. So, that was during a time of expansion when the markets were up. Now we're in a time of contraction in this 2020 corona world. The markets are down and they may still go deeper down and things might still get darker, right? We're nowhere near out of the forest yet as far as I can see. So what have I had to do? I had to consolidate everything, take inventory of all my assets, my personal character, my bank accounts, the stuff that I own, all my assets, and try to consolidate everything so that I can prepare to have those epic nights again, so that I can build my core, my character, build on all my assets and be disciplined, because I want to have more epic nights like that again and again in the future. It's just going to take time. And in this moment and in these days of abstinence and discipline, I'm building my future for those days. In the last episode, I talked about a metaphor for the coronavirus, which is an eclipse of the sun. So right now, humanity is in darkness and the sun is eclipsed by the coronavirus. So what have we had to do in this dark times is that we are adjusting our eyes, right? We're becoming more sensitive to whatever little light is able to come from behind that eclipse, around the sides of the eclipse. And that is what a corona actually is. The definition of corona is the gaseous, luminous aura around an eclipse, okay? And so everything seems dark, but if you look at the eclipse and you pay attention and you slow down and you become present to the moment through meditation and working on yourself, you can see your eyes adjust and you become more sensitive and you can see more and perceive more, so that when the eclipse goes away and the bright sunlight comes back, I mean, hopefully we're not blinded, but metaphorically, but when that sun comes by, our leaves and our flowers will blossom, ready to more than ever to receive that onslaught, that beautiful pouring of sunlight, so that the markets will explode again, and humanity is going to rejoice, and we will grow, and we will become richer, healthier, and more prosperous than ever. So, because I'm not that Tyler Durden Renaissance man type just yet, I decided to take a break from drinking. For whatever reason, I'm not, either genetically or just from where I'm from, I know like this is the right step for me. I need to just focus on my health, focus on building my good habits, focus on my podcast, this show, so I can help people out more and I have more energy to do that. So that when I do drink on my birthday, Saturday, July 4, that I'll really enjoy it, knowing that I really earned it because I set a target for myself that I have reached, that I've fulfilled my word, a promise to myself that I would do this. So I invite you all, if you're listening and you are a drinker, from June 4th to July 3rd, 30 days, take a break from drinking and then join with me and have a drink on July 4th, either in person or over the interwebs. Or if it's not drinking that's your vice, maybe something else. Maybe, I don't know, cigarettes. Maybe it's junk food. If you could just take a break or in place, why don't you do something positive that you feel like is a little out of your comfort zone, but something that you think you've wanted to do? Maybe, again, it's not quitting drinking. Maybe it's quitting sugars or cutting down on carbs or some other processed food, whatever it is, or soda. Why don't you try to push yourself? I would encourage anybody to at least try, see what you can do. And I guarantee you, if you really try and you really put your mind to it and you set in your mind to do it, you can do it. And I'm a testament of that. Someone who I thought as a kid I could do nothing wrong, right? I could do nothing. I couldn't hold a job. I couldn't, keep myself clean. I couldn't even have a organized, neat appearance for most of my life. Like I thought I was a worthless human being. And now I'm setting bigger and bigger goals and achieving them and living the most amazing life that I can. If I can do it, if a bum like me can do it, so can you. So I hope on Saturday, July 4, we can have a cheeky drink together. Maybe not in person, but we will celebrate wherever you are. We'll celebrate health, success, personal freedom, personal actualization. We'll celebrate independence, what it means to be free, what it means to be self-sufficient and strong. Self-reliance, as I've mentioned in another episode, and just becoming the best version of ourselves and having the best time. Mime time. Oh, baby. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And if you got something out of it, please share with your friend. And if you have anything you would like to say to me, please hit me up. Hit your boy Mime Time up at Mime Time on Instagram or mime@mimetime.com. Thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful June. Peace. Oh.